So in this video, I'm going to give you an overview of entertainment in Hudson Yards. Now, this video is not an overview on the whole neighborhood of Hudson Yards, so I just want to make that very clear. I have a separate video specifically for that, but this is going to be solely on the entertainment, shops, and dining side. So what you would do if you were spending a day in Hudson Yards. So Hudson Yards is a neighborhood all the way on the west side of Manhattan in Midtown. However, it's also like a new development area as well because it has this gigantic mall and all these other attractions within the mall and around the mall that it has been drawing a lot of tourist attraction because of all that. Equinox Hotel has actually opened up their first location here in the neighborhood. And I haven't been inside yet, but it looks absolutely crazy, like absolutely crazy. I have been to the rooftop bar and that is unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. And a great place to stop by for anybody, even locals. And that is incredible. So I can only imagine how nice the rooms are. And I hear it's very, very expensive. So you definitely have to pay to stay there. I would say overall, the neighborhood is really filled with high-end shops and high-end dining. Also, the northern part of the High Line, which is the park that is elevated in Manhattan on the west side, runs into Hudson Yards. So you can actually be in Hudson Yards, dine there, shop there, and then go on the High Line going towards downtown Manhattan. So that's also something cool to do as well. So if you are looking to stay around Hudson Yards but can't afford any of the hotels directly there, you can also stay in Midtown West or Chelsea in a more affordable hotel because there's going to be some more options there. So the name of the observation deck in Hudson Yards is called The Edge. And it's called The Edge because there's an actual edge that kind of like juts out of the building, sticking out over New York City. And it also has a glass bottom so you can see down. I have not been up there yet. I have been to the Edge's restaurant called Peak up there, which is absolutely amazing. So sometimes those observation deck restaurants are a little bit overrated and it's more about the view than the food. With Peak, I don't think that's the case. I actually think the restaurant is really, really good. So I definitely think it's worth going there just to eat at Peak. I haven't done the observation deck yet. I will at some point. So I am a residential real estate agent in New York City. I go on a lot of rooftops all the time and I'm actually really, really scared of heights. So that's kind of why the reason I avoid some observation decks because I just really am scared of heights. Now, typically I'm okay if I'm like kind of far back and in a closed in area, but the fact that it's like a glass bottom kind of freaks me out. So that's kind of why I avoided this one, to be honest with you. I guess I will do it at some point. So something really cool that they also opened up in the Edge is they actually just released ice skating in the Edge. So on that rooftop, they have like a little ice rink there, which I think is like so cool and unique. I've never seen something like that in New York City. And I really love when people are thinking out of the box, especially in the winter when people just need something unique to do because there's really just not many unique things to do in the ice cold. Oh, and also there's another attraction there called City Climb where you can kind of like climb the sidescape of the building, like securely, like obviously like you're like mounted in and everything, but kind of like feel like you are literally climbing down the building. We'll put a picture somewhere in this video so you can see what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about when I'm afraid of heights. Like that would be my worst nightmare ever. I would absolutely never do that. If you do that, props to you. You are so brave. And please, if you have done that, share your experience in the comments because I would love to hear about it. I'm just terrified. So overall, the Hudson Yards Mall is made up of a lot of high-end shops, but kind of like shops that pretty much everybody knows at this point, or at least people in Manhattan would know because they do exist in some other neighborhoods as well. There's a lot of really good restaurants in Hudson Yards. And I think that before Hudson Yards opened, a lot of people didn't know if the dining would actually be really good. And I think it's really great. And they've also opened up the Manhattan West Plaza, which technically isn't Hudson Yards, but it's in the Hudson Yards neighborhood, which is right next door. And that is also filled with some other restaurants that are really good as well. And it's part of the Whole Foods Plaza. So in the Hudson Yards Mall, there's one restaurant that's kind of similar to Italy, but it's called Mercado Little Spain. And it's supposed to be kind of like the Spanish version of Italy. And I think it's a really cool spot. I think the food's really, really good. So I do recommend trying that. If you know what Italy is and are looking for something kind of like similar to that, that's like a really cool spot that I think you should try out. I would also say that if you are looking to visit Hudson Yards, if you can, go specifically around the holidays because the Hudson Yards Mall around the holidays is something like I've never seen before. Now, it can get really touristy because, of course, a bunch of tourists are coming in to see the mall around the holidays because they light up the mall with, I think last year they said they used 1 million white gold lights throughout the entire mall. It's incredible. And we'll put a picture up somewhere here because it's something that I honestly think that everybody should see around the holidays in New York City because they do such a good job. And I literally love going there at least once a year to just see the lights there. So if you guys have any experiences that you would love to share about Hudson Yards, please share them in the comments because I think hearing from you guys really just helps everybody else in the community. So if there's any questions that you have or anything I missed in this video, please share them in the comments because as always, I love hearing from you guys.